Hi there! I am in need of a nice light cardigan to help me transition my summer dresses a little bit further right into fall. And I have thought of this little pattern here. It's a cropped cardigan, so it ends at waist with a little cuff. And I will have some buttons in the center front. And as always, this pattern is available on my website for free. If you're interested in a full-length cardigan of the same style, I will link something for you below the video. So, without further ado, follow me into my sewing space and we will cut out this pattern. So I have bought this cotton fabric with spandex. It's very stretchy, at least in this direction, yes. So it's a bit thicker than the usual jersey, and I think this should do nicely. So I have marked my pattern on the fabric, and I just want to tell you something about the neckband. So this long piece here is the neckband, and it is usually meant to be cut in two parts and then joined together. But I have enough fabric width so that I can put it on the fold. So if you want to do this, first make sure that you basically cut the seam allowance, and second that you put the part where the two notches are against the fold of the fabric. These notches indicate the shoulder seam, and so this part here, which is on the fold, will go around the back of the neck, and the front here, the longer side, will go on the front and down the center front.
I begin with sewing the bust starts, and I'm using a zigzag stitch for this. This seam is quite stretchable and should move with the cardigan along. Next are the shoulder seams. I'm using my serger for all the construction seams, but if you don't have one, a zigzag stitch is fine too. I set in the sleeves while the side seams are still open. I think this is much easier to sew. I just line up all the clips and divide everything evenly. With the sleeves in place, I can sew the side seams. I simply run the sides through the serger from the wrist down to the waist. The long sleeves get finished with the cuff. For the shorter sleeves, just fold on the 2 cm at the hem and stitch in place with a zigzag stitch or cover lock. The short sides of the cuffs get stitched, and then we can flip them inside out and fold them in half. Then I divide both the cuff and the sleeve opening at the wrist in quarters and push the cuff inside the sleeve. The right side is facing the cuff, and this can then be stitched on. Note that the cuff is a little bit smaller than the sleeve opening, so you need to stretch the cuff a bit to fit. I keep the pressure foot inside the cuff so I can sew all around without needing to stretch that thing in an awkward way. Then the waistband gets folded in half and pinned down on the bottom of the cardigan. The two notches get lined up with the side seam. Again, the waistband is a little bit smaller than the actual waist on the cardigan, so you need to stretch it a tiny bit. And then the waistband gets sewn on. The neckband or collar gets prepped next. Both ends get folded lengthwise and stitched. The right side of the fabric is folded to the inside. The seam allowance in the corner gets clipped, and then we can turn the collar inside out. And then we can pin it on. The notches get lined up with shoulder seam, and this time everything should fit perfectly, no need to stretch anything. Make sure that the ends meet neatly. I sew this on a bit different. That means I start twice from the bottom and sew along until the center back. This way I can really control that nothing shifts. All I need to do now is add buttonholes and buttons. Looking back, I really should have put a stabilizer behind the buttonholes. The machine was struggling a bit to sew the buttonholes into this stretchy fabric. The buttonholes are not perfect by any means, but they work. Next time I know it better. On with the buttons and then a good press with steam, and I'm ready to show you the whole thing. That's it for today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this video and it was of some help. If you have any questions, just let me know down in the comments and I'm glad to help. I hope I will see you soon in my next video. Bye bye!